to the MTR Network. We are back for another Super Tuesday recap, but because we don't have any shows to recap, we are here to recap AwesomeCon, and I am Shanna. I'm here with the doctor.
Hello. Hello.
And we have a special guest today who was also at AwesomeCon with us, Mo from the TV Movie Mistress podcast.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
So we just want to talk a little bit about AwesomeCon. All three of us actually went to the convention. We'll talk a little bit about NegroCon and what that was like. And then we'll talk a little bit about comics because I had an entire stack of comics that I brought with me across the country that I got caught up on. So I want to talk a little bit about, and I know there was like a huge Marvel sale. So a lot of people got caught up on Marvel stuff. So just going to talk a little bit about what we're reading right now. So first, AwesomeCon, you guys have both been before. This was my first time. What did you think of this year?
Well, So this is my first time as press. Before I just went on Saturday. And I think it's time for the folks behind AwesomeCon to expand into more parts of the convention center or to find a bigger venue. And what I mean by that is I like that they add the AwesomeCon Junior, the area for the kids, because I know last year they had a couple of kid-friendly things, but it was really for teens and up. So, and I don't know that everyone that swung through AwesomeCon knew that, because there was a lot of pearl clutching when John Barrowman did his John Barrowman thing, and on his way to his thing, his panel strolled through, and I swear to God, it was a French maid's outfit.
Oh my Lord.
And a lightsaber that was essentially a neon pink dildo.
Hey now, all of this was not at my AwesomeCon experience.
And he actually posted pictures from it last year. So even if you weren't there, like, this is not your mama's welcome, Merlin, folks. But so it was I thought that was cool, but I feel like they need to put the photo and autograph opportunities in a different part of the convention center and let the exhibitors have the entire floor, because it was getting to the point where people were just like packed in there like sardines trying to get to different exhibits and see different artists and go to the different shops. And it's just, they need to expand. They need to.
I agree with you on that. Absolutely. Because I remember when I was looking for you ladies, and I was walking back and forth on the floor, it's like you went straight from the people that were selling stuff, and then it was like I was surrounded by like 100 people who were waiting to get autographs. And there was like no break. There was no, it was just like both worlds collided, and not in a good way.
Right. They didn't efficiently use their space, because just a few feet off from there was the eatery area, and then there was this big wide open space. They just didn't use the space well. That said, it was nice. I haven't heard any fallout like last year where they oversold tickets to see Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, and even the VIP folks couldn't get in to see them, and that was a shit show. Folks were furious. So I haven't heard that anything like that happened this year, so I feel like they got that under control. But they need to do a better job with space utilization. Other than that, I did enjoy it. I met quite a few artists that I'm lining up interviews now for the network that will be published, hopefully in the next month or so. I'm doing 2 of them this week and a few next week. So, but no, I enjoyed it. My feet hurt. I loved that they brought the Stan Lee Museum. That wasn't there last year, and that was so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. That was one of my favorite things. So they had like Stan Lee, I'm saying it like he carried it in himself. Stan Lee brought just all of his memorabilia, and they set up this little area that was the Stan Lee Museum. And it was all these pictures that people had drawn for him, artists. It was a lot of movie stuff, a lot of props and things from all the different Marvel films, statuettes and products that were specifically designed either around him or by him. It was really cool. There was about 5 Iron Man suits.
Oh, there was more than 5.
Yeah, there were like a ton of Iron Man suits. I took a picture with the Captain America suit, Avi, my husband. Yeah, that was a great exhibit, and
Did you guys have to pay to get into this special Stanley section, or was it just part of the floor?
it was part of the floor. It was maybe a
Okay.
10-15 minute wait online, but we went to it like Saturday morning, so it wasn't too crowded or anything. It was nice. There was a
Did you
Black
flash your
Panther
press
thing.
badge and say "Get away, peasants"? Did
No,
you?
we're not that mean.
Okay.
There was the back of the director's chair for Chadwick Boseman from Black Panther, and he had signed for Stan Lee, and it was like, to Stan, you're like a great inspiration, blah blah blah, like, love Chadwick, and I was just like, Black Panther. I got so hyped. Anything else?
Well, you ladies were there for the entirety of the weekend. I just sort of went for one day. So my experience was a little bit different. But from what I saw, I mean, I feel like by the time you've been to like 5 cons, you kind of figure out what you want and what you don't want. But I mean, other than what the doctors already mentioned in regards to spacing, it was a pretty nice one. I didn't get to see too much, but from what I saw, I really liked it, and I completely loved the lady who I got my bag from, my Rogue One bag. I've been wearing it every day since, just like I told you ladies I would. It's now officially my summer bag. But no.
You want to tell folks about that lady? Maybe do a little signal boost for her.
I wish I remembered her official name, but I guess I'll give description why. So there was this Indian lady there who had a booth where she makes her own bags, hats maybe, I don't know. She was sharing it with another young lady who had the coolest of shoes, and the young lady was printing like Doctor Who shit on her shoes, and that was fire. And then this lady also makes bags from scratch, and she was a short woman like me, so the strap of the bag was just perfect. So I kind of bonded with her over that. But yeah, she was cool. That's I wish I remembered her name, but I don't.
Yeah.
What I will say is this. So we went as press, and Shanna, you remember the first 2 days, we just walked right in. It was like, hey, press, black people go. The third day when I showed up, they decided to check my bag. I'm like, if I wanted to blow this place up, y'all are 2 days too late.
Oh, yeah, that is true. They checked my bag on the last day as well. And I was like, okay, whatever. It was fine because I got there early, and it was like some old black man. He was super nice. But I was like, this is funny. I'm like, I've been in and out here a dozen times, and now y'all are checking my bag.
Someone cared the last day. The time I came was around 1-2, but what I did hear from people who went that got there on time, right before they opened, the wait was 2 to 3 hours each day to get in.
Are you serious?
Which, absolutely, yeah. And I was like, that just made me even happier that I came later on in the day. But yeah, for Saturday, people were they got there at 8 before they even got into the exhibition hall. It was 10 or 11. I don't know what was happening in the morning, but the morning was not the best time to go. Well, super on time was not the best time to go.
Yeah, see, that goes back to they're not utilizing space well at all.
Yeah, because you could get everybody inside the convention hall to wait if you wanted to, which I know they do at San Diego sometimes. I mean, it's still super annoying, but you walk in and there's an area inside the convention center where they have everybody stand sometimes to get onto the floor. And it's just a big area, a big hallway. So at least you're not waiting outside.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures. My goal was to get as many cosplayers of color this year because I know that is a community that is often overlooked or kind of, shocker, I know. And so I was able to get some really good shots that I'm going to, maybe we just add it to this post. People can have a gallery and a podcast. Maybe we'll do that. So,
yeah. What I have learned now after many, many years now of going to conventions is that I have to stop buying posters and prints because I have no more room on my walls for said posters and prints. So I ended up getting a really beautiful leather belt that this woman makes. She makes all these handmade leather goods. So I got a leather belt. It's a Wonder Woman belt. I am in the process of finding the perfect dress to wear with it. I'm very excited. So I will probably be wearing that at San Diego, my Wonder Woman belt. And I can't wait.
Did you find your gray t-shirt dress?
No, I'm still trying to find just the right one.
Why don't you get a red one?
I'm gonna look for red. Red will be like special occasion. But I feel like everyday wear, it needs to be gray.
Okay. No, I mean for the convention though. If you're gonna go to the convention.
True. I should. Okay. I'll look. I'll find red too. Yeah, so highlights for me were I met Jeremy Whitley, who is the writer of Princeless. He is also currently writing Unstoppable Wasp for Marvel. He's just really nice. I already put up a piece about him, so if you go to mtrnetwork.net, you'll see the pieces on the front page. He was just so nice. This is amazing. He writes these great stories with all these strong female characters, mostly women of color. He wrote the Danny Misty Secret Love story that was in Secret Wars a couple years back. It was one of my favorite stories ever. So yeah, it was great meeting him, and he's been really nice. I sent him the piece, and he gave some great feedback for it. So hopefully one day we'll have him on the show. And who else did we meet? Oh, I met Tom King.
Wait. Can I raise my hand? Damn it. Is there a raise your hand thingy on this? No.
No, that's not how that works.
How do you interrupt elegantly? Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't know that was the guy until you mentioned him, because honestly, that scene in it was the Iron Fist comics, right? Because I don't read them. The Misty and Danny panel. Mm-hmm. I don't remember who posted it, but I think someone had posted it. I don't know if it was in the MTR group or the Project Fandom group, so please forgive me. But someone had posted that panel, and this was before Iron Fist came out. And just from that scene, I was like, oh, okay, I could rock with Danny. And then we got actual Iron Fist, and I just wanted to stab myself in the eye, because that entire panel that he drew sort of formed my Danny in my head.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to know that.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard because the Marvel Netflix shows have kind of played fast and loose with the relationships, and I can tell that they're trying to get there, but at this point in the comics, Danny and Misty are married and have a kid. Although in the Sam Wilson Captain America continuity, Sam and Misty are dating, so like that's a whole separate. And then in the Jessica Jones comic, like her and Luke are also married with a kid. In that particular Secret Love story, Danny and Misty actually go out on a date, and Jessica and Luke are watching their baby while they go out. So like their babies are having a play date and they're babysitting. It's really cute. Like they do. So it's hard because the show isn't there yet. I cannot wait for Defenders, because all I want is a scene with Danny, Misty, Luke, Jessica, Claire, who else? Oh, Matt, all in a room together, because Luke has slept with almost every woman.
Mm-hmm. All that coffee drinking.
And Matt has slept with Claire, and Claire is with Luke, and who else? And Luke has slept with Misty, and Jessica and Luke have slept together as well. I just can't wait for that scene where it's just super awkward because everybody slept with Luke.
Do you think they're gonna do that on a Netflix series though?
I'm hoping. I need it.
Well, I agree, but sometimes they get a little, I don't want to say PG, but I don't know. I don't know if they can handle that amount of complexity within all their characters on a Netflix series.
I mean, they got 13 episodes. You can give it to me in one of them.
Y'all heard Shanna. Y'all need to give it to her. Done.
That's what I'm saying. yeah, so he's good times, Jeremy Whitley. And then I met Tom King, who currently writing Batman, previously writing Vision for Marvel. Chris and Deepam just dropped their podcast about his run of Batman. So if you haven't listened to that already, listen to it. I was actually listening to that podcast while waiting in line for the signing for Tom King. So
he's really nice too.
He was so nice. I need to contact his publicist about interviewing him during San Diego, but he was just so nice. We talked. I told him how much I loved his run on Vision because that comic will blow your mind. It will make you reassess your whole life.
Yes, it will.
It's so deep for a comic.
For no reason. And it's like, it gets you very, what's the word, existential?
Yes. It gets really so, good. You get in your head and like there's certain lines that just resonate and you have to read them over and over again. It's so good. So I had to tell him that I just think he's amazing. And he was really nice. I didn't get to meet Scott Snyder because the line was super long for him and everybody was like geeking out. So I was just like, I'm not even going to try. But I did purchase his script book for Witches, which is his independent comic that he did. Which is nice if you are into how comics get made, how things go from the script to the actual page, because it has the actual script and then it has notes and pictures and references, so you can kind of see how it developed. So if you're a writer into that, I would suggest purchasing that book. But yeah, other than that, I liked it for a convention. Pretty typical. I like the people that they had there. Although, again, I'm not somebody who's going to like wait on a long line or spend a bunch of money for autographs. I've done it like maybe 2 or 3 times total. One was Jason Momoa, which Jason Momoa, you got to drop money and meet Jason Momoa if you have the opportunity.
Seriously.
It's Jason Momoa.
I stepped away for a moment. Did you tell them about Jerry and the Pie?
I did not tell them about Jerry and the Pie. So I got to meet Jerry from The Walking Dead. He had pie at his booth. So I had a piece of pie. And a massage. Yeah, he was giving massages and pie and hugs.
I'm mad I missed all of that. So mad.
I got the best hug ever. Oh my God. He's so tall and beautiful. And yeah, and apparently he did work on something with Jason Momoa. So now I have to see that so I can see both of them together.
In my head, I'm just imagining the live action of Moana.
Oh my God. He would be such a good Maui.
Yes, he would.
Oh,
yes.
I never even thought
Make it happen, internet. Make it happen.
Yeah, he's just a sweetheart. I hugged him and I told him that I never wanted him to die.
Oh, wow. Did he step back?
He was like, I don't want to die either.
It's something I have to be currently worried about.
Well, because, I mean, you guys, The Walking Dead does not love us. Not the way it should. Everyone we love dies. So I just wanted him to know that I really don't want him to die. He's the nicest person on that show. Yeah, so it was fun. I was actually keeping it low key, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk around and check things out and be super chill, because usually I am that person, and I know in a month I'm gonna be doing that at San Diego. So I was like, I'm gonna keep it low key for this one.
Question: are you coming down for New York Comic Con, or are you over it like I am?
It's usually just too soon after San Diego for me to do another trip. So that's
okay.
Why, that's why I don't go. It's not.
I've been disappointed in the last 2 years with it. I haven't been in the last 2 years, so I don't.
Can you tell us
Huh?
Tell the disappointment, because now you're the third person between Phenom and Chris. They've also mentioned a disappointment in, is it the setup? Is it
It's just that everything is too much. It's too stressful. The actors that come on the panels look exhausted. like, how can I explain? Okay, I started going about 5 years ago. So this is 2017, around 2012, 2013 is when I started going. And then it kind of, even though it was such a large space, which is the Javits Center, it still felt comfortable. Like how we walked around AwesomeCon, you could still get one-on-one with the artists. And I think somewhere along the line they expanded so quickly. And New York is already a crowded city. Um, it started feeling like work for everybody, it seems, in my opinion. Like the people, like the regular folks like us who just want to go and have fun, and then the people who come down. So after a while, I was just like, this isn't fun anymore. This isn't fun anymore. So I haven't been for the last 2 years. And then another thing that makes it worse is actually the ticketing process. I kid you not, I used to be able to get like a 3-day ticket for the New York Comic Con, like that, not a problem. And then around 3 years ago, like the day it went on sale, the tickets would be done.
Wow.
And the tickets come out about at least 6 months before. So Comic Con is in the fall, I think, September around-ish. I don't know, it's slightly cold. And it's already sold out November, December.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like who's getting the tickets then.
Mm.
So the tickets process is not fun. You can't actually get the tickets. Like I'm even in like the pre whatever where it's like, we'll tell you ahead of everybody else. And it's like, you're still not able to get a ticket. So the ticketing process sucks. You actually get there. It's overwhelming in a bad way. And now they've done this thing, which is the stupidest thing of all. Because Javits Center, I guess, is so crowded and expanded now, they're holding events at another location. So basically Madison Square Garden. So if I'm enjoying myself at Javits Center, which is on like 34th Street and 11th Avenue or whatever, basically the edge of Midtown, and I want to go to another panel, I have to like walk or whatever, cab the busiest avenues in New York City.
Oh no.
Exactly. So it limits your enjoyment. And it's like, most of the time it's like big stars. So they kind of split their big stars between two locations. So
it's to draw the crowd in half. Yeah, it's to draw the crowd.
Exactly. But that sucks because then it's like you're cutting my enjoyment in half. So
yeah,
I haven't been in the last 2 years.
I get it because they obviously want to keep it in the city, and keeping it in the city and I would say New York Comic Con after San Diego probably has the biggest names all in one place, so you're gonna attract a very large crowd. And keeping it in the city means you kind of have to do that. You have to split it between venues because there's no way everybody's going to fit in the Javits. And you have to do that where you program things opposite each other that are both going to draw big crowds. So that way you split the crowd in half. What would make sense is to move it to someplace like Jersey, which just has more space than New York does. But nobody wants to go to Jersey.
Yeah, and the thing I always hear of San Diego Comic Con is the city involves themselves in it.
But that's just never going to happen in New York.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm from New York, so I know that's not going to happen. But at the same time, it's like, no, then I don't want to do it.
Like, I can't think of anything other than, and still even that, I was going to say like maybe something like the Puerto Rican Day Parade or the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Like, I can't think of anything where like everybody in the city is just like, yeah, this is happening, just avoid it, stay home, or like, it's so very rare that you get New Yorkers all on the same page that like, yeah, this big event is happening. I should just not be in this part of town during that time unless I'm going to it. Like New Yorkers are like, we don't care. Like,
yeah, like
I still got to get to work.
You know,
yeah, I'm trying to get this Metro card. Like, I have no time for you.
You know what would make sense if they had shuttle buses from Javits Center to Madison Square Garden, but like you said, they're trying to draw the crowd in half, and I hate that because I'm not trying to pick. Because most of the time I want to see both people, so no.
You have to plan very, very carefully.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so AwesomeCon was fun. Next year they're moving it to March, the end of March, beginning of
Oh,
April.
I would say be specific. It looks like they're moving it to Easter weekend.
Oh, okay. I
Which is
see.
my
I never
birthday, so
paid.
you guys can celebrate me.
Well, here's the thing, and here's the thing about that. I get it. You know, you had people outside for 3 hours, and while the weather was milder than it had been in the region, it was hot, and then Sunday was super fucking hot. Pardon my, yeah, super. I'm not pardon my language. Whatever. We are. It was super fucking hot and humid. It was humid all weekend. So I get that, but I'm like Easter weekend, y'all.
So this is the thing for me though. I Easter has not been a holiday for me since about since before high school, actually. So it's actually not a big deal for me. And also, usually that weekend is the end of spring break. It's either the beginning or the end of spring break. So actually, I can fly out and not have to worry about having to be back on time or it like bumping up against something else. So I'm kind of happy about it. Um, but I just don't. I think it was more that the convention center scheduled something else during the weekend that AwesomeCon
Yeah, like
usually
a concert or
happens.
something.
Well,
So,
and here's the thing about AwesomeCon. Last year it was earlier in the month, and then the year before that it was later in the month. It moves around in the month.
okay. So
So
so what the real issue is that they're not securing the time in advance.
that's the issue, and
Yeah.
that
But that's
goes. But
insane.
that goes back to the planning.
Hmm.
Just like I said, the setup and how we were all smushed in there like so, that's all the planners. It's grown faster, and instead of engaging some folks who are adept in large event planning, they're just winging it, and it's
Yeah.
like,
And also this year was the same weekend as HeroCon, right? Which is
Was
the big
it?
one in North Carolina.
oh, I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's like the other end of the world. Well, I
no,
mean,
I think that's they split their crowd because
you think for real?
my understanding from some people was that they were like, "Oh, so and so isn't here because they're at HeroCon, or I'm
Oh,
here
okay,
instead of
got
at
you.
HeroCon." So I think they kind of ended up splitting their guests and their crowd.
Okay, that makes sense. I will say the panel list for AwesomeCon was underwhelming. Like a lot of the panels that I saw, especially for Saturday, which is sort of be your peak period, were not stars. You know, there were just people
Really?
like having discussions.
What are you talking about? David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and John Barrowman were all on Saturday. Those are
That's
names.
literally Doctor Who, ma'am.
I know, but those are names.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying I want your entire day to be filled with celebrity panels, but I don't want it to be the other way either.
Mm. Well, and I will say too, for some reason it was one of those things where they had Eliza Dushku, and y'all saw me. I was freaking out because I'm like, I knew she was tiny, but I didn't know she was Tinkerbell size. She's
She's
tiny.
adorable,
I don't.
yes.
I still don't understand why that surprised you at all. Like, I just don't get it.
Like
Like
her little
Sarah
face.
Michelle Gellar is all of like 5 foot nothing.
That is
And,
true. That is true.
and everybody else is about her size. So I
Oh my
just,
gosh. I love Elijah Dushku though. She's so
I love her.
adorable.
So what I'm about to say is not meant to be shady, but what has Eliza done in the last, I'll say, 3 years?
she
Oh,
hasn't
absolutely
done a
nothing.
lot, but she's done a lot of guest starring on things. But she hasn't done anything
And
big herself.
honestly, she don't have to do anything. She's still riding the wave from Dollhouse, in my opinion, for me.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing is a lot of folks. I mean, there's always folks that are not huge or haven't been huge in a while, but people come for them because they love them. Apparently, she was on Banshee. She was
Oh, she
on,
was. I forgot. Yeah, she was dope on that.
and she did a TV movie called The Saint, and apparently she's on a new TV series called Bull. I got
So
nothing.
she's doing stuff. She's getting paid.
Okay. I love her. Like, I love her. I think she's great. I've been sad that I haven't seen her, so good to know that she's out there. I can check some of these things out with her.
I love me some Elijah Dushku. Like
Mhm.
that is one like I wouldn't pay for an autograph, but I would have walked up and gotten a hug if that was a possibility. I I did that with Katie Lotz at Heroes and Villains, and I got a hug. To this day,
Oh.
Okay, I love
Sarah
Katie
Lance.
Lots, but she tweeted something the other night that I was like, girl, stop.
Oh no,
No.
don't do that.
Stop.
I don't want to know. Don't.
No, it's something completely silly. It's not
Okay.
like...
I was like, I don't want to know.
for me-
She's
for
problematic.
me,
I don't
was
want to know.
Okay, you will be like, for real, this is petty on my part, but it was a tweet that I read as, and I'm paraphrasing here. I found like a baby, but I have to like get on I have to get on a plane. Like, what do I do? So that's what I read. And then when I went back to read the tweet for a second time, it said, I found a baby mouse,
Oh.
but I'm about to get on the plane. What do I do? So my brain omitted the mouse part because I was like, oh my gosh, she found a baby. I was like, bitch, how do you even find a baby mouse? Is it like I'm like, we have all of those in New York. What is happening?
You're so random, I swear.
I am.
So random.
Well, you said Katie Lotz, and I had problems with that too.
So weird. Oh my god. Oh gosh. Okay. NegroCon. So Saturday we left AwesomeCon later than we should have. Went to my house or where I was staying.
Well, stopped at Safeway because all of us had to eat because we was like,
Stopped at Safeway, got some food, went to my place, ate, got there like 20 minutes later than we said we were going to be. Chris was freaking out.
You look like he had a handle.
No, it was funny. He had that face that he has right before we go interview people at San Diego. It's like, I need about 5 Moscow Mules face.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, it's good. We're here. It's cool. We're ready.
well, he had texted her like, where are you? I was like, I'm sorry, we got delayed. We're on our way.
It was so hot. It took like so long to like walk 3 blocks because of the humidity.
Exactly.
And it was really my fault because I made the mistake of wearing flats all weekend thinking that would be good. And I was dying by the time we got to their house. And I didn't realize my problem could be solved by putting on some heels, which is why I'm not overdressed for NegroCon, but it was the only way I could walk without a wheelchair.
It was great. I also wounded myself early on in the game, so I was walking around with Band-Aids on my toes. We were just a mess.
Yeah, we were. I was ridiculously dehydrated.
On our Hotep run-in that I talked about during our
Oh yeah, oh gosh. So I hurt my toe almost immediately after going to the convention center, and I needed Band-Aids. And so we go to first aid. We're in first aid. The guy there is like being really nice. He's like cleaning the cutout and putting Band-Aids on. And he's a black man. We start talking about the convention. He's like, what is all of this? I love when people are working conventions and they have no idea what's about to happen. He's like, what is all of this? Explain, black women. And so we were like, okay, here's what this is. Here's who's going to be here and all this other stuff. And then we just start talking about stuff. And somehow, he mentioned that he had seen the Heath Ledger documentary.
Yes.
And so,
I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good because I cry sometimes just randomly seeing pictures of Heath Ledger. So I was like, I'm good. I'm not going to watch that. And then he brought up Brokeback Mountain, and immediately he goes, because I'm not about that gay stuff. We went like, sad.
So, okay, can I just say this? I had a feeling we were delving into Hotep land when he mentioned Heath Ledger, but I'm like,
really?
I really did. I was like
who just randomly mentions Heath Ledger? That's so random.
To donuts. 1, he's gonna bring up Brokeback Mountain. 2, he's gonna be like, I don't like gay shit. And or 3, this is the bonus. He'll bring up, well, he had to have been gay because real men don't kiss other men if they're not gay. That's usually that expression go.
I hate that. I just had one recently. I'll talk to you guys about it after the show, but it's just, those kind of men are so insecure. I'm like, how, gross.
Yeah. It just, I knew it was coming. I felt it in my soul, in my spirit, and I was like, oh yeah, this is sad, but it's one of my favorites, but it's all good. Okay. So we have to go. And that was pretty much how that conversation ended.
I'm glad I wasn't there for that one.
It was ridiculous. So we get to NegroCon, and I just want to say to everybody who came, one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I could not express how happy I was to see and meet everybody. This whole week has been a letdown because of NegroCon. If I could spend my life podcasting, writing, sleeping, and meeting you guys, that would be the dream. That is the dream, because this was just so much fun. I loved every second of it, and I got to meet Rod and Karen, which is so much.
Well, this is me and Mo's second year, so
Yeah, we're like basically cousins now. So I told Karen she was my auntie, and she was like, okay.
But it was so amazing too, because we got Aaron from Black Astronaut Star. I was like, "You're Aaron from the Black Astronauts. I know you're a boy." I felt like such a dweeb.
And that's the thing too. So one thing we did talk about after NegroCon is how we can do this again, how we can do it bigger, maybe do it more than one night. And so many of the people that came out, that spent money and came out to this event, were other Black podcasters. We have a network that is so rich when it comes to people who are doing awesome work. We have the ability to put on an event that is just us, that is for us, by us, literally. So hopefully as we move forward, we'll be thinking about how to do this again, how to make it bigger and better. But I just want to acknowledge how awesome our community is in terms of the people who support us are not just fans, they're also other people doing this work and doing awesome work. So I'm really proud of everything that we did, and we just need to keep making it bigger and better. And I need to convince all of you guys to fly out here to come do an event here.
You don't really have to try too hard for the West Coast for us to come out there. You guys did an awesome job. Where's My 40 Acres, Black Guy Who Tips, MCR Network. I'm an antisocial motherfucker, in case, people don't realize that. But to just be around everyone, that, you listen to and you like, and you're like, they're so cool. Are they really that cool in real life? And like you said, you get to see them and you just it felt so good. It was like a emotional high that I can understand why the following week is a letdown. Cause you're like, damn it. Can we do AwesomeCon, NegroCon again this weekend? Is that no? Okay. But yeah, I do hope it gets bigger and better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just, it was a really rough, long week at work. And every day I was just just a few days ago I was meeting all these cool people, going to conventions, talking to folks, and now I'm back in the real world. Good times.
Yeah, see, for me, it was one of those things too where I'm like, okay. So it's funny because I'm a part of this network, but there are still times I feel like I'm on the outside, not because of anything anyone has said or done to me. It's just me. That's just my personality. And so I'm laughing because I think Rob was rolling his eyes at me. You remember when we went to brunch and we wound up at a different table because we got there late, and I'm sitting there eating salad and my eggs. And I forget who came over. It's like, well, we can use this area where we were sitting. I'm like, oh, and can I finish eating before you kick me out of my seat? And I just want to eat. I haven't eaten. I'm shaking right now. And I was like, oh, I can move out the way. And Rob was like, girl, if you don't get in this picture, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we were late. We were late because we went to AwesomeCon Sunday morning and to meet some people. And we got there and they were like ready. They had already ate and they were ready to go. But I was like, we gonna sit here and eat. Like, I'm starving. I was like, we are gonna sit here and eat. And I just joined right in, and the doctor's sitting there like, I don't know, guys. And I'm like, no, we gonna eat. We gonna participate. And if they get up to leave, they get up to leave. But I'm hungry. And then we ended up going to see Wonder Woman after, so that was even better.
So that was my third time, and I'm not ashamed of it.
It was only my second, but now I'm like, oh, there's a third. There's definitely going to be a third in my future because I really want to see it again. Yeah, so NegroCon was awesome. Great drinks.
Okay, the thing that blew my mind before you move on. Josh Wong, he's in a lot of groups with us. He's in the MTR group. He's also in the Gat Spot group, which is Sterling from Gaming and Then Some. That's his podcast group. He is so sweet. He brought all these Tim Tams, and people were like eating them up.
I was eating the hell out of them Tim Tams. You have no idea. Especially after all the alcohol I was drinking. Them Tim Tams were necessary.
I was like, I can't eat them because they have wheat. And then he had candy bars. I'm like, I can't eat those either. I hate my life, but you're so sweet.
He's the best.
He's the best. And then he asked for our autographs, and I was like, who, me? What? Oh, okay. I about cried. I swear, I about cried. It was just so nice because, I don't know, I'm a notorious introvert. I'm notoriously socially awkward and anxious. And I didn't feel any of that in that room. And that's just a testament to the community that's been created. Because I went to work and I was tired from all the walking and the heat, but I wasn't tired from the human interaction, which is usually what happens. It's like, I hate everybody. I'm closing my door to my office. Catch me next month. And that just did not happen. So it was so nice. It was so nice.
I was trying to not get emotional, but seriously, when he asked for our autographs, that was it. I kind of lost it for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is the moment I've been waiting for all my life. Not really, but in a way, yes. Like, things that I just never thought anybody would ever want my signature on something.
That was my thing. I was like, why me?
So,
like, I'm not offended. I'm notoriously flattered, and I feel like that I'm not in my lane right now.
Yeah. I think we all kind of felt that. And everybody had their sappy post-NegroCon posts on Facebook. And Chris got all emotional, which, never happens.
He has a heart of stone. Like, this is a man who did not like the musical crossover. Like, I was like, okay, well, we're just done with you then.
Yeah, it was beautiful all around. There was so much love in that room. It was hot and everybody was like packed in like sardines, but there was also a lot of love in that room. And the venue loved us. They were great. They were like, we did not know what to expect. We didn't know what was going to happen, but we had so much fun. So, yeah, I think if we don't, because it was tiny, if we don't have it there again, the actual show, then we definitely need to do our after party, whatever, hangout there, because they were just great.
Well, and you know what I was thinking? Well, that's still a small space. I'm like, rent out the basement of Penn Social, because that was a much bigger space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they have a stage too. Thinking? Yeah, they have a stage too.
You remember, like, you guys listen to the Read, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't listen to it as much, but I remember when they first started out, and like I would listen to them, and then I remember like when they had their first show, and then they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it sold out." And it's like I just sort of wish the same kind of trajectory for y'all, where it's like with NegroCon, it's like, oh my God, and like next thing you know, y'all are like selling out stadiums and shit, and that would just be so dope. And like Shanna says, this does become full time, where you get to like live out your dream every day. I think that'd be awesome.
You guys have no idea how much that is the goal. Not necessarily not necessarily that I want to be podcasting full time, but to be able to sustain myself writing and podcasting and kind of just doing these things that Kevin Smith is goals basically. Because all that man does is wake up, smoke, podcasts, and write. And I'm like, that
And he
sounds
does
like a life.
and he does live shows, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm like, that sounds like the life I want to live. So that's the goals. Anything else about NegroCon? Any more gushing that we want to do?
No,
Can't think
thank you
of anything.
for everybody that came out. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Just seeing the faces and putting the faces to the names, because I apologize to anybody who, I got introduced to and I had to be like, because I see your name all the time online. And for some people I had to be like, what's your Twitter name? Like I had questions because I see your name all the time, but I haven't seen your face. And I'm much better with faces than I am with names. So it just took me a while to associate everybody's Twitter handle or whatever with their actual face. So apologies for that, but it was great finally putting those together and seeing people in real life.
Yeah. Well, for me, if anybody met me, I probably didn't remember you after the third drink. But I had a fantastic time. Everybody was friendly. I was super friendly. I'm never that friendly, so it was a great time.
All right. Little comics talk.
Yay!
So going to AwesomeCon, I took a red eye. I was knocked out the whole time. Coming back, I came back in the morning and I had a layover. So I read all of the comics. I had a stack of 20 some comics with me and I read all of them. So I am caught up on most series. Is there anything you guys are reading right now that you're excited about?
Currently, because I'm going to have rain next season, I'm rereading the 52 Supergirl because I love her introduction. I'm sorry, I have to share this with y'all. I'm sorry. Because if they don't do her right next season, I'm going to be so pissed. Because she just shows up. There's no origin story. There's no I forgot who I am. There's none of that. And one of her first interactions with the human is and she looks at a cop. She's like, you wear some kind of ceremonial garb. You represent the rulers of this world. And he's like, yeah. He's like, excellent. She's like, tell them rain has come. Tell them to assemble their forces, their finest warriors, their deadliest weapons. I will meet them in the center of this city, where they will have the honor of dying first. And if she calls down the rest of the world killers, oh my God, if they mess this up, I am going to be furious. Because I still enjoyed season 2, but season 2 was, at the end of it, a hot mess. And they did Jimmy wrong. And yes, a month later, I'm still bitter. And you just going to have to deal with the fact that I'm going to be bitter till I see them do better.
Yeah.
But
we were talking about this during the Queen Sugar podcast because Nina asked me about Supergirl. And somebody was like, oh, or I think Nina was like, oh, so they just made him Diggle 2.0. And I'm like, he's not even Diggle 2.0 because if he was Diggle 2.0, he would at least be giving Kara advice on being a superhero. He doesn't even do that anymore. It's really, I started thinking about it. I got a little angry.
Aww.
Wait, which issue of Supergirl is this?
it's the new 52. She's introduced in the very first one. Not the issue. I'm sorry. I always buy them in the trade, so it's a series of 6. So the World Killers are introduced in volume 1.
Okay. I'm looking it up. I will put it on my Amazon wish list because I'm definitely going to read that. The other thing that I'm putting on my wish list is Jeremy Whitley's run on Unstoppable Wasp. Volume 1 comes out in September, so my plan is to read that one in first volume. Anything else that you're reading that you're into?
I'm still working my way through The Walking Dead, and it started off rough, and I'm just like, yeah, this is just as shitty as the show's become. But now I'm at the point in it where it's better than the show. I mean, Kirkman still can't write women for shit, but the progression of the story is so much better than what's going on the show.
Okay. Yeah, I can't get into the Walking Dead comic books. I don't know why. Like, I start reading them and then I fall off and I just never come back.
It's poor. If you can get past the first 8 volumes, I know I just listed 40 issues. If you can get past the first 40 issues, no, it gets pretty interesting.
Okay.
I know, just take my word for it.
Okay. So, like I said, I was reading the Tom King Batman The Button series. So that's the one that's connected to the Watchmen. I read that one, and the Flash is a crossover between Batman and the Flash. I'm not going to go into that one because Chris and Deepam do, but just know, really interesting writing, tapping into all of the stuff that happened in Flashpoint, which is going way back. It's like some deep cuts, but really interesting stuff with Bruce Wayne's dad as Batman as well. And then the other series that I caught up on, this was a recommendation from my comic book guy. My comic book guy, his name is James. He owns Isotope Comics in San Francisco. That's my comic book guy. I always call him my comic book guy. He has a name. He recommended this one to me, and I'm so glad he did. It's called Heathen. It's by Vault Comics, and it is written and drawn by Natasha Alterici. And it's basically lesbian Vikings.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's the best way to sum it up. It's about this woman. She is exiled because she gets caught kissing another woman. So they tell her dad that either she has to wed somebody or he has to kill her. And instead he exiles her. He lets her run away and has everybody think that she's dead. And what she decides is that there's this legend of this Valkyrie who defied Odin and was put away, imprisoned until a human could set her free. And she decides that she's a warrior who is worthy. And so she decides she's going to free this Valkyrie and basically defy Odin and get him to change the way women are perceived in their culture. Like, that's her big thing. And she's like, I'm taking the fight. Like, this whole thing comes from the gods and what's good and what's allowable for women to do. And I don't agree with it. So she's basically trying to take the fight to Odin.
Yeah, Odin on the low, not even on the low. He's a dick, man.
Oh, he's such a dick. In every single iteration of Odin, he is an asshole.
I want to like him because it's like he's got a lot going on, but it's like, why isn't your wife just ruling? I can't stand him sometimes.
He's such an asshole. But it's really beautifully drawn. The characters, like, they have Freya. She's really gorgeous. There's some slight nudity. A little bit. A little nudity. But other than that, it's fine. I always have to mention that because I'm a person who reads a lot when I'm commuting. So sometimes, you're sitting next to somebody, you're reading a comic. Maybe that one's not the best one to read on the train.
Oh my God, you just reminded me when I moved here and I had to work, move in for the new students. And I was just charged with giving out water because it was a hot day. So I'm reading the Buffy series. I'm reading I think it was volume 8 or 9. And there's this really graphic sex scene between Angel and Buffy. And I wasn't ready. And right at the page to it, an older grandmother walked up asking for water.
No.
And I didn't know it. I froze and I'm like, I need to close this book. And I don't know what to do right now. So I'm just standing here frozen while she's probably judging the entirety of my life.
So that's like reading a comic book and not like Deadpool. Deadpool, I read it and it's like, oh, it's so funny. But like you give it a kid, you're like, yeah, oh, maybe this should not be given to a kid.
That's it. So the other thing that I got caught up on is some Spider-Man stuff. So I was reading the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and the Spider-Gwen crossover, which is really good. I think it's kind of kid friendly. But in it, they show a future where Miles and Gwen are together.
Huh.
And they have kids who are
What?
like super cute. Like one is like this little black girl with blonde hair, and then the other one is this little black boy with blue eyes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they're so cute. And then they have their Spider-Man outfits too that are like adorable. One, she looks like kind of a take on Spider-Gwen's outfit, and then he looks like a take on the homemade Spider-Man outfit that Tom Holland has in the movie.
With the hoodie?
Yeah, with the hoodie, and he has like a little skull cap on. It's very cute.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, how old are the kids?
It's like, so they go to a different Earth, and on this Earth, they're celebrating, Gwen and Miles are celebrating like their second wedding anniversary or something like that. So they're much older. Yeah, they're like much older, and not their second wedding anniversary. Like they've gotten, what's the thing when you do another ceremony even though you're already married?
Second marriage.
Yeah, like they do one of those. And yeah, their kids are like, they're twins, I think, and they're like 11. They look about 11.
Aww.
Yeah, super adorable. So yeah, that one is a pretty good one. That's like kind of kid friendly. I mean, it's teenage kid friendly. There's a lot of making out. I don't know. It's cute. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm all about crossovers. Sometimes I'll just get crossover stuff of series that I don't read regularly just because they're interesting. I also got caught up on Black Panther and the Crew. Are either of you reading that?
No.
I read the first issue. That's it.
It's so interesting. And now Black Panther 2 is bringing in Storm. So it's a really interesting series. I'm upset that it already got canceled. But you know, we've said this a million times. You guys, you gotta read single issues. You gotta read single issues if you want series to survive, and you gotta pre-order.
It's hilarious. I'm a big proponent of I'm not fully on board with the whole buying my comics online because I like the book. Mm-hmm. I like the issues. I like to see it. And for me, a lot of times I go to my comic book store and I just like a lot of issues. I'm like, oh, first issue. I'll just like, that's how I grab Black Panther and the Crew. Because I just go in there and I'm like, oh, this is a new issue. Let me give this a go. Especially if it's like a lot of like people of color or just female-led, woman-led comic issues. And I'll just grab the first issue. But you can't really do that when it's online. I think that's sort of the weird missing component.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I'm somebody who does like to go to my comic book shop, but I also understand that I'm not going to get there regularly. So I'm always just telling people, create a pull list. It's the easiest way. That way when you walk in, it is waiting for you. If you're not able to get to it regularly, you'll still have a stack waiting for you when you go. I just think that's the best thing to do. Sometimes I'll just hear about stuff and I'll just add it to my pull list. And even if it's just that one first issue so I can try it out, I still add it to my pull list so that I know it's there and it'll be waiting for me. Because I get to the comic book shop maybe once a month, every 3 weeks. You know, at least then the publishers know that it's something you're interested in.
Yeah.
I know that the buying system and how people read their comics is similar to TV, and the rating system is kind of outdated, how they count things. But until it changes, until they catch up with that, you kind of just have to deal if you want to keep books going. This is one of those things.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would suggest to people if they want to start reading some Spider-Man but don't want to jump in because Spider-Man is such a like thick history. But there's a new one it's called Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. And it's being written by Chip Zdarsky, who does the Jughead comic. And the color artist on it is Jordi Belair, who did Vision, and she's an amazing colorist. So that's a good one to jump into because it's a brand new story. And it just started. And they have this black female character that totally asked Spider-Man out. And she's gorgeous. And she has super cute short hair that I want. Yeah, her name is Rebecca, and she is a comedian, and she like runs into Spider-Man when her purse is getting stolen, and she asks him out. Just, you know, as you do when you're a confident black woman, you ask out Spider-Man. So
wait, was he dressed as Spider-Man when she asked him out?
Yes, he was in his Spider-Man costume, and she was like, here's my card, call me, let's go out.
Okay.
And I was like, homegirl is bold as fuck, and I love her. There's also a really cute thing where he's like debating whether or not to call her. He's like, is this too soon? Should I wait? And all this other stuff. And so then he calls her and he says, he's like, oh yeah, like we should totally go out and I won't stand you up. I never forget a date. And then the next panel is him forgetting that he had told Johnny Storm that they would hang out.
I tell Johnny Storm to stay home.
He's like, I never forget a date. And then the next panel is just Johnny waiting outside his apartment. Like, he forgot, didn't he?
Well, to be fair, the reason he forgot, just saying.
Yeah, it's a cute one. Peter is an adult now. I think Chris and Deepalm did their character corner on teenage Peter Parker, who is awesome. But in the comics, he's an adult, and it's definitely a lot more mature. There was a thing with him and Silk, and you know they had a connection that was very sexual, and he's dating people that are not Gwen or Mary Jane. He's the CEO of a corporation. Like, Peter's very different, adult Peter. Okay. So I'm kind of getting into adult Peter and what he has to say, and I like him. Like, he's kind of sexy. So, yeah, if you like your Spider-Man with a little sexiness
chest
on
hair.
The side. Yeah. Exactly. That's the one to read, guys. Yeah, Marvel is putting out a lot of stuff, and I know everybody's stuck on this whole Secret Empire thing and Cap being a Nazi. Yeah.
The best.
There's so much good stuff happening, you guys.
I gotta stop. I'm not reading that, but didn't that get revealed like late last year, early this year? Why are we still talking about this?
Because white people get their feelings hurt because you make Captain America a fucking Nazi. Even though if they read the story, it makes perfect sense why Captain America is a Nazi. Like, they explain there's this little girl basically like rewriting history and his memories. So people's feelings are hurt.
Well, okay, what's so frustrating about it is that there are clearly people who are not reading the comic, but just reading the
headlines.
The headlines or like the one random panel. Like,
yeah. Like, he's going to be good again. Like, the man was like old for like an entire run and then he's young again. Like, yeah, stop. Oh, I just want to punch him in the face. Like, just stop. Oh.
So as you're describing this, Moji and Shanna, and I'm sitting here thinking about it. So, have you guys seen that video? There's a couple of videos floating around saying the music from The Leftovers makes everything more heartbreaking. That
yes.
So, Sully, as you were describing everybody's displeasure, that song played in my head.
That's kind of what it feels like with the way they keep complaining.
Like, good Lord, y'all.
Yeah.
almost a year. Move on.
Yeah, and it's like it's the thing is it's a really good story, and I feel like they're cheaping in it. What? And you got that word. By giving it the clickbait headline feel to it. Like it's a really thought-provoking run of Captain America. Like we all watch Agents of Shield, correct?
Yes.
And
Come on.
of course. But when they did that alternate universe thing where May, oh Lord, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the season, get your life right. But when we find out May is actually very high up on the Hydra hierarchy. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. Just because, like, people like May have never been good or evil. They just have a certain set of skills that whoever sort of, I don't want to say convinces them, but whatever side they're on, whether it's good or bad, they're an asset to them. Mm-hmm. So the fact that like someone like May goes from, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and being a good guy, and then next thing we know, in this alternate reality, she's working for the bad guys. Like that made complete sense to me because her skills don't change. So that's sort of what her skills and her ideals don't change. So that's how I took the whole Captain America thing. Like, this is still Captain America, but if you flip the team he's working for, if you flip his belief system just a little bit, because for the most part, what do they say? The winners write the story. Mm-hmm. That little tweak, it's very interesting to me. It's what comic books should fucking be. So people being mad at it just infuriates me.
Yeah, it would be one thing if the story that Nick Spencer was telling, and the other book that I bought was the Captain America Hail Hydra Volume 1. I bought it during that Marvel sale on Amazon so that I could read what led up to this. And it would be one thing if the story that they were telling is Captain America is a Nazi and it's all good. But the story that they're telling is Captain America is a Nazi, and part of it is that it could be you, because it's really it's that same thing that they were telling on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What if just one thing changed in your past, and that kind of changed your trajectory? And it's not that and I don't think they're making excuses. I don't think they're trying to say that Captain America isn't bad. It's just the same way that they weren't trying to say that May wasn't bad or Fitz wasn't bad. But it's just like, sometimes it is the other side of the coin.
Yes.
Where the things that you're doing are bad and wrong, but you don't think they are because of what your experience is.
Mm-hmm. Like, it kind of reminds me of, again, spoiler alert, people who haven't watched this current season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Russian. Oh, God, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Okay, I forgot what I was about to say. Lost it. Something about the Russian.
But yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Yes, if I remember, I will come back. Yes.
That whole idea that it's your experiences, and if they're just changed slightly, can really change your trajectory. Captain America thinks that what he's doing is right. And he does some messed up stuff. He's like, clearly,
yes,
he's clearly undermining Sam as Captain America, but doing it in a way so it doesn't look like he's undermining Sam. It's that he's being manipulative, but it's never projected as he's right. It's always projected in that what he's doing is wrong. So it's weird to me that people are so up in arms about this story. Also, what's always funny to me, again, when people get so angry about these things, is that often they don't know the comic book history. Like, these things have happened before in the comics, because they've done these what if and, kind of storylines before. So this is not anything new. And it's always more interesting. And that's what made this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that whole Hydra arc, interesting. You want to see the characters that you've come to know and love do the exact opposite. You want to kind of see what that looks like. if they're not the character that you know and love and they are on the bad side. It's always more interesting. I love body swap episodes. I love what if alternate realities with the same characters. I love it on The Flash, like when they did the crossover, the musical episode. I like seeing Iris be Millie Floss and be in love with Homeboy for no reason. I love that shit. It's great. It gives the actors a chance to do something different. And for when you're reading it in the story, it gives you a completely different perspective. So, yeah, I think people need to stop. These are comic book arts. The stories are meant to be metaphors and allegories. So it's interesting to see them play different kind of roles. So, that's it. That's my spiel.
Okay, so can I talk about a couple of comics I read or I'm on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mostly, no, we don't want to. Here.
Look, there's no raise hand system. But yeah, so like you sort of talking like a lot about the main one, so I'm just gonna like go off the beaten path a little bit, but probably not. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about, because honestly, every time I go into the comic book store, I'm very easy. I'm like, oh, woman, oh, people of color, and then like I'll go to like my true and tribe, which is Superman and Batman. But Bitch Planet.
Oh, are you finally reading Bitch Planet?
I've been reading Bitch Planet since last year.
Oh, I love Bitch Planet.
It's so good, and it's one of those comics where it comes out like if you're lucky once every 2 months.
Yeah, Kelly Sue takes her time.
It's worth it because I don't even know how to explain it, but basically it's like a dystopian future type. I don't want to say Handmaid's Tale because that's very simple, but it's basically a society where anything and everything women do wrong lands them in jail. So if you don't smile enough, if you don't, if you're not skinny enough, if you're chubby, if, you are not married at a certain age, if you don't support your husband, if your husband wants to cheat and bring in another woman, he could just be like, she's being a woman. And it sends you to this off planet with a bunch of women that's called Bitch Planet. And it's just so awesome. And I love it. And it's just, I don't know. It's been one of my favorite comics to read. 2016 into 2017. I kind of hope it doesn't end because it does hit a lot of the nuances, like regular stuff that we just sort of like, the catcalling thing. It's imagine if you're walking down the block and a dude catcalls you and you're like, don't catcall me, and he calls 911. Like you could go to prison for that in this world. So, yeah, like you said, Kelly Sue Mechanic, she's just really dope. And I know you and her are besties, Shanna, but tell I said hi. But yeah, so Bitch Planet.
Have you read the latest issue?
I believe I have. The latest issue being the one with the president, lady president.
Maybe it hasn't come out yet. Maybe the one coming out this month is it. So the next issue that's coming out is kind of a special where they have guest writers and guest artists. So they're letting people tell kind of mini stories that are set in the same universe, and it's Kelly Sue's way of getting newer comic writers and artists out there. And I think they're all being written by women or non-gender conforming folks.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that must be the next issue, and maybe it's coming out soon. I have not read that.
Yeah.
And I just love Bitch Planet for another thing. Like, I'm one of those people, I don't read the end, the questions and answers a lot of times at the end of comic books. But for Bitch Planet, like, I read the questions people send in. I read the extra articles. Like, it's just all over so interesting. So that's one of the things I'm reading. I'm also reading The Flash. Which is super cute, but it's like part of the DC Rebirth series, and I mean it's quintessentially the Flash. Like there's no big mystery except in this world. It's after DC 52, which I don't really want to go into right now because I don't really remember the full details, but it just follows, the Flash. It's the Flash being the Flash, but it's written well. we have, as usual, Barry just, as usual, feeling a lot of things at any given moment. And, trying to mac it with Iris. And then we also have Wally. So it's sort of like the full cast is there, but, compared to the show, like Iris is not black, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say Iris is white in the comics still, right?
Yes. But she's still Wally's aunt and Wally's black, so they try.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. To me, it's kind of similar to Aquaman. I get that he's not. I just don't understand why Aquaman is not Jason Momoa now in the comics. It doesn't make sense to me.
For life. Yeah, that makes no sense either. Is he still like blonde hair?
Yeah, he's blonde, and I'm just like, but you have Jason Momoa right there. You can draw him like Jason Momoa. Why would you not?
There's no excuse at this point. And they would sell more.
And it's the same way with The Flash. I'm like, you have Candace Patton. You have her face. Why are you not drawing Candace Patton's face?
Honestly, I feel like, because a lot of people would complain, they were just like, look, we'll just keep Wally black.
Justice Warrior bullshit.
Yeah. I really think they were like, we're already getting the Snowberry crazies for the show. They were just like, we'll just leave this slightly the same so they don't come at us, is honestly what I think it is.
Again, you have Candace Patton's face as the prototype.
Look, you're preaching to the choir. Right now, my background on my laptop, you can't see it, is Candace Patton, and she's looking fab. So you don't have to sell me on that. But that's the only reason I could think of why they kept Iris white in the comic books. But
I don't think so. I'm gonna interrupt you.
Okay, go for it.
So the Snowberries that are watching the show aren't reading the fucking comics.
Absolutely,
they're not. They absolutely are not.
Of course not.
So that's not it.
Yeah.
They're trying to avoid pissing off fanboys more for whatever reason.
Yes. Yeah, you're not wrong. But again, it's just sort of we'll keep her white for now. Okay, so I'm reading. Okay, so I didn't really hype up the Flash because I've read like 23 issues in. But the one thing of note I can mention is the bad guys are excellent. They are, even like the rogues. They're written really well. They're scary. They're effective. As usual, every friend, and this is what sort of made me forgive the third season a little bit, because in reading the Flash comics more, I realized literally not literally, let me not say that. The majority of villains that the Flash has are people who become friends with Barry.
That's because they're so damn charming and adorable.
And people get angry, I guess. So, it sort of made me forgive the show, because it's like, damn, Barry, stop making friends with people who are going to betray you. But that's also sort of like a running theme in the comics, so it's easier to forgive on the show once you kind of realize that is the whole gimmick of the Flash, and they're all Flashes, and you're just like, God damn it, how many other Flashes will, it just is, and I feel like it works a little bit better in the comics, but in the show it's harder to do, so maybe that's what it is.
And I have to say, like, I don't read The Flash regularly, but The Flash has some of the best covers, because I don't read it regularly, but every once in a while I'll be in the comic book shop and I'll just see a really cool Flash cover, and and I'll buy the issue.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. I think the artist, I'm gonna butcher this, Gianfelici. But yeah, no, their covers are frame worthy, is what I like to say. So yeah, I like it. I don't know, that's my highest compliment. I like it. So here's another off the beaten path. It's called Empress. And it's from Mark Millar. And the artist is Stuart Immonen. This is, any of you ladies reading that?
No, I'm looking it up right now. I have my comicsology.
Oh my God. This was one of those first issues I actually picked up online, Midtown Comics, because I don't know if you guys do this, but I am literally that person. Like, I will be on, like, Midtown Comics, and I will go through every tab of every issue of every publisher. Like, it's like a 3-4 night process, but just so I don't miss anything, especially when they have the sales, like I want to try out something new. And Empress was one of the comics that I picked up. It's a short run, 8 to 10 comics. I can't really remember right now. And it's so good. It's basically like this, I don't want to, okay, think of Guardians of the Galaxy. It takes place in space. There's this woman. Okay, it reminds me a little bit of Saga.
Okay.
And it's, the Empress is this chick who marries, how can I compare him? Dark side type character. And yeah, and she, throughout the run, you see she's on the run from this dark side type character who's also her abusive husband, who she also has like 2 kids with, and she's on the run from this life as this Empress with her bodyguard and her kids. And it's got a lot of like interesting side characters, a lot of interesting themes, where one of the ones at the forefront, because I'm a lazy person, is this idea where as a human being, you can switch bodies. No, yeah, you can switch souls. So I'm here and I want to lose weight. I can go on vacation and give up my body to another being. And that being will like eat right and work out and blah, blah, blah. And then when I come back, I can just jump back in my body with my 6-pack. But I've been like eating Cheetos and Doritos in another like world for like months.
That's so weird.
Isn't it though?
So you messing up somebody else's body while yours is getting it together?
Exactly. But I'll come back. I got that 6-pack. But it's really good because it's a nice exploration of different worlds, different societies, different drama. But at the core of it is this woman running from this crazy dude with her bodyguard who is hot. He's got like that Brad Pitt goatee thing going on. And I don't want to give away the best part of it because it's also sort of a spoiler, but the thing is, the bitch is capable. Mm-hmm. And she ends up being the one, like, in the beginning, it just looks like she's this chick running away from this husband with connections and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, she's like, no, I could have fucked you up whenever I wanted to. But I chose not to. And the twist at the end is just so awesome. So Empress, yeah, I don't know. I'm easy. I love women who sort of take ownership and kick ass. So that's what my eye is always gravitating to in the comic books. And I guess the final one, sorry, I know I've been talking long, but Teen Titans. Teen Titans. I actually wrote the review for this recently for Project Fandom. And I don't normally read Teen Titans, y'all. Do you guys?
I don't read it, but I love the show.
Okay, see, and I like the show, but I don't watch the show too often. But this run, and because I'm just like, I don't want to read about Teen Titans, fucking kids. It was so good. It was so good that like I would go out and spend money on it. Like, it was like, you've got Wally West in it. You've got Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's son. You've got Beast Boy. I mean, you got the Teen Titans, but it's just a really good story of how, like, they become a team. And it's just, I don't know, it's got a lot of heart to it. So if anybody out there is sort of always, like, on the fence, it's really well written. It's mature, is what I would say.
I like it. It's so funny to me because a lot of people are just like, I think I saw a bunch of stuff around AwesomeCon. I don't know why specifically around AwesomeCon about people being like, these adults reading comics and I'm like, clearly you're someone who has not read a comic since you were 5 years old reading the Sunday Funnies, because these comics are dark. They are dark. They are mature. There is stuff going on in them where I'm just like, I really do, like you said, I have to pick and choose what is acceptable for my friends' kids and things like that, because I do like to give away comics to them. I remember I was reading Batgirl, but I was a few issues behind, and then I started reading it, and I knew my friend's daughter was reading it, and she's like 7. And I was like, because like the first issue, Barbara has a one night stand and she comes out of the room in like her undies and a t-shirt and she's like, and I was just like, is Mara still reading this? Like, and my friend is all like, yeah, I haven't had a chance to read it, but she's reading it. And I was just like, you might want to read it first.
Just thinking.
Yeah, just in case. I don't know where this is going. So, yeah, some of it is very mature, and I think people have this impression of comics as being, like, Bitch Planet is crazy mature and is so deep and going through all of these themes about feminism and the prison industrial complex and all of these things. That is not something, I mean, it's something that I think eventually every woman should probably read, but it's not something that, you know, is acceptable maybe for a 7, 8, 9-year-old.
And they wouldn't even comprehend the nuances within it, honestly. It's like when I watch Family Guy and then my, like, 8-year-old nephew watches Family Guys, we're laughing at two completely different things. Like, he's laughing at the fart jokes and I'm laughing at, you know, everything else. So, yeah.
So anything else that you guys are loving? I'm not caught up on Moon Girl, but I know that Riri makes an appearance in Moon Girl. I'm also loving Invincible Iron Man with Riri and America as well. So that's the other thing. People get out there, support these women of color, Black women-led books. World of Wakanda just got canceled as well, which hurts my heart.
I've got that first issue as well. I'm very sad.
Yeah, I have all the issues of that. And that's the thing is, like, they're all on my pull list. I might not have read them yet just because I always have, like, a stack. But I have them. I buy them regularly. America is great. Miss Marvel continues to be amazing. They went to Wakanda this past issue. Well, she didn't go to Wakanda. Her friend is studying in Wakanda, so the whole issue was set in Wakanda. And so there's some nice crossovers going on. Every time I read the letters page of Miss Marvel, I end up crying. That's just me and my sappiness. But I just think it's a beautiful comic and people always write the best letters to them. So, so definitely if you're somebody who's into comics or wants to jump in, I think right now a lot of the stories, they're also really good about being like, this is where the new story starts. So
they've gotten better at that.
Yeah, like Rebirth, like when I go to pick up they'll be like, this is so-and-so part 1, like on the cover so that you know that it's a new arc starting. So you know where to jump in if you're not caught up. So
yeah. And can I just give a shout out to the DC Rebirth price point because that is smart marketing. Because $2.99 per comic book, you're gonna have, especially like I go to my comic book, you know, most people have subscriptions, you get like 15% off or whatever. I've always been a Marvel person, but Marvel with the $4.99 and $3.99, I gotta sort of like stand there and pick and choose. But with the DC Rebirth at $2.99, like you tend to want to experiment more.
But doesn't Rebirth also sometimes have 2 issues a month?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know the ones I read.
Because I know that was the thing was when they first started Rebirth, all the issues were less, but then they were coming out with 2 issues a month. And I was like, that's too many. I can't. It adds up.
I like to let them add up. So like I'll get 1 to 3. It'll take me a month to possibly read it because I have a stack. And then, so for me, it's always sort of fluid. Also shout out to the DC Rebirth Trinity. Have y'all read that?
No.
It's Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman.
Oh.
And it's really good. Superman's got a kid in it with Lois Lane, and they're living in the farm. Batman is, and this is like a Superman from another world, which I'm kind of done with. They need to stop with all the other worlds. Just come back to Earth. I'm kind of done with that. But you also have Batman, and then you have Wonder Woman, and it's really it's them going through their shit, but it's also like, yes, this is the fucking holy trinity, as Chris always says. And it's a really good run of if you like those characters individually, all three of them together, it's a really good run.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, you guys, those are our recommendations. Bitch Planet, Peter Parker, Spectacular
Peter
Spider-Man.
Pan.
But that's the thing is there's so many Spider-Man books. It's like Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, I'm like Ultimate Spider-Man. Like there's so many. So
it's too many.
Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I'd recommend for Spider-Man is Miles Morales, because that story is kind of really good. Like his grandmama, his abuela, she's wildin'. And his dad and his mom I love. And his best friend is... I love
Genki.
the whole Miles Morales. Yes.
I love Genki. And that's
awesome.
basically who the character in the movie is based off of, which hurts a little.
Yeah, because I was hoping he'd be a person of color.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man Homecoming movie is getting rave reviews. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I already bought my ticket going Thursday night.
Wait, when is it out?
It's out July 6th is the official date, but you can...
Really?
It's
you can
out
already
the night
buy
before.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Get on Fandango.
Okay.
Buy your tickets.
I need to change my life. I need to get my life right. Okay.
Just make sure what happened the second time I went to go see Wonder Woman didn't happen. For some reason, Fandango's site was completely down. For theater, I was like, I sat there and they looked at me and they were like, okay, do you have your email? Because we can do it based on your reference number. I was like, look, because I'm going to see Wonder Woman for my second. I'm damned if I paid $26 because it was the fancy theater. You gonna let me in this damn door?
Yeah. I don't care what
I have my ticket saved to my Apple Wallet, so I don't want to hear any drama. Okay. I'm super excited for that.
And y'all pray for me. I love my child. He has me wrapped around his finger. And he wants to see Transformers 5 for his birthday.
You just like send him there and come back and pick him up.
I feel like that's a reflection on your parenting, though.
I tried, but the truth of the matter is he's my baby. He don't ask for much of anything.
But do you have to be there to watch it with him?
Yeah.
And that was my suggestion. His brother will be home on break. I'm like, well, your brother could go with you. He looked at me like, nah, bitch, you come in too.
Or you could do one of those things, how like you're the parent and you go to the movies and you give your kid the iPad. Like you just have the iPad while he's watching.
You just sit in the very back of the theater with your screen turned all the way down.
like I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm wondering how it's doing because it's not in a lot of there's not a lot of it doesn't have a lot of screens here already in the second week here where we're living. Like the first weekend, it was in 2 different theaters, and it was like every other hour there was a show, and now it's down to 1 theater, and it doesn't have a lot of shows. So I'm like, are they in trouble?
I'm seeing the articles. Transformers opens to franchise low $69.1 million.
That's
explains a lot.
That explains it.
Yeah.
That explains it. Yep. Because I'm like,
China will save it.
And so we'll either see it on his birthday, which is July 5th, or we'll go this week because I was like, well, maybe we should go soon.
Wait, his birthday is when Spider-Man comes out and he doesn't want to go see That is a reflection on your parenting.
No. He's Spider-Man. He does. But given a choice, he wants to see Transformers first.
No, that's
and given how it's performing, I'm like, okay, I don't want it to leave theater and he hate me. So we might go this week and then see Spider-Man for his birthday.
Okay, yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah. You need to start I don't know, brainwashing him with that. Come on.
Oh, also speaking of Spider-Man, my Marvel Collector Core box came this week. And it's all Spider-Man themed. And the t-shirt is a Midtown High School t-shirt, which I'm totally wearing to the opening. I'm so excited. I'm like 5 years old. I'm like 5 years old. Like, I'm gonna wear my t-shirt to the opening. I can't wait. So yeah, that's happening. And I also saw Chris got that super cool Spider-Man statue from Loot Crate. Now I'm a little bit upset.
That would look so awesome.
So
What,
good.
like, what kind of... I got my Loot Crate this month. I was so disappointed. I was like, that's it? I was like, okay.
Yeah, I wonder what box... Was that the regular Loot Crate box, or is it like a special one?
It must not have been, because I get the standard Marvel Loot Crate, and it was just like an upside down black Spider. Not
Yeah,
black Spider.
that one, the black and white Spider-Man.
I was not impressed with that.
I love it. I thought it was so cool.
I was like not impressed.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a Transformers T-shirt, and I was like not impressed. It was alright. I was like not impressed.
All right, if you're not loving it, just so you know, you can always pass along these goodies.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. I should put on my video so you can just see my entire background, which is nothing but Loot Crate right now. My Loot Crate wall.
Oh, the other thing that I'm just remembering things as I'm looking them up. The other one that I have to recommend that everybody read, if you're not reading it, just because I so rarely read DC stuff. But I'm loving the DC Bombshell series. I've been getting all the volumes because it's super deep in. It's all the female characters. It's set during the 1940s, during World War II. So they're all like drawn like pinup style. They have really cute outfits. A lot of the DC characters I didn't realize are Jewish. So they do talk a lot about like religion and the importance of religion and with the Nazis and all of this stuff. And I just really like the series. There's a lot of women loving women. You have Harley and Poison Ivy are together, and Batwoman and her girlfriend is Maggie Sawyer. So yeah, and she used to date Renee Montoya. So there's all this like love triangles and stuff like that. And it's just really good. Instead of the Joker, you have the Joker's daughter as a character.
Oh, he's got a daughter now.
Mm-hmm. Joker's daughter, Zatanna. I'm obsessed with
what? Zatanna's Joker's daughter?
No, Joker's daughter is with Zatanna.
I was like, what rewriting of history has been happening? Okay.
It's really cool. It's a really, really cool series, and they have these little mini vinyl figures. They're called little DC Bombshells. I have a whole bunch of them. I just ordered another one because I have a problem. But yeah, that's another suggestion that I have if you are into that. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop because otherwise I'll just keep suggesting things that people should buy. Thank you guys for talking with me about AwesomeCon and NegroCon, and hopefully we'll be doing something soon. Maybe we need to do like for the next NegroCon, we need to do an all ladies panel. That would be awesome.
I'm in.
All right. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for coming out. We appreciate you so much. Let us know where the next NegroCon could be. I know they were talking about Atlanta, which I would totally come to Atlanta for NegroCon. So let us know like where the next NegroCon should be, who you'd like to see. I want to just hear other people's ideas. I have lots of ideas, but I want to hear everybody else's. And thank you guys for listening.
Bye.
Bye.